NoBasis was actually born abroad. I say that because the idea came to me when I was studying abroad in Strasbourg, France. I lived there for 6 months, but I didn't know how to speak French. So I had the idea to get a shirt made that said "Parlez-vous anglais," which means "Do you speak English?" And at that point, people began to interact with different, and I realized fashion is communication. You should be able to express what you feel on the inside, on the outside, without even speaking up, and honestly do that, right? So people who are in clothing, in apparel, designers, marketers, that whole in that conceptualization phase, they're thinking of what type of person is going to want to wear this. And so you're communicating through your fashion choices every day.
What's up, fam? Before we get into today's episode, I want you to go check out our website at www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list. We are creating the ultimate accountability group for entrepreneurs. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business leader, if you are a dreamer, we want you to be a part of our group. All you got to do is go to www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list, and we'll take it from there. This thing is going to be bigger than us, and we want you to be a part of it. Again, go to www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list. Now, let's get back to the show. What's going on, good people? Welcome to another episode of the I Got Dreams podcast, the ultimate accountability podcast. Today, I have my sister with me, Miss Althea Young, CEO of NoBasis. Man, this is definitely a lady that can take you from A to B, from idea to execution. How you doing, Althea?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, who is Althea Young? Who are you?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. Althea is a woman of God. I'm going to start there. I am a partner to Derek, my fiance, husband, everything. I'm a sister, a daughter. I am a friend, and I'm an entrepreneur.
Awesome, good deal. And you're the CEO of NoBasis, right?
Yes.
What is NoBasis?
NoBasis is a customizable apparel company. We offer same-day printing services on our branded line of apparel and gifts. And so we're all about self-expression fashion. So we service both B2B and B2C markets. The B2C operation is kind of like a boutique or concept storefront where people can come in, grab an item that they like, and then everyone who works with us is a printer, a trained printer. So they can add on their favorite mood, phrase, hashtag, inside joke to the apparel in real time. Yes, and then on the B side of things, we offer bulk printing services for organizations or artists or podcasters who want to get into work.
Awesome. That's pretty dope. What is your dream for NoBasis? What is the vision?
The vision is to franchise. So I want NoBasis in all major retail storefront. Retail cities. So I want to see a NoBasis, on Rodeo, see a NoBasis, in in Soho, So eventually, I want to see these storefronts pop up everywhere.
Awesome. Good deal. So, man, that's a big dream. And so, like, how did you even come up like with this concept or get into this world? Like, well, before we get there, are you a graphic designer?
I'm not the main graphic designer on my team. My brother actually is, and I do outsource some graphics to my to some of my partners or peers that I have worked with or who have majored in that. But really, I'm just an all around creator. My expertise more so comes into the cutting and sewing part of the design. But the graphics, I do a little bit of. I can take care of the simple things, but when I really want to get something dope or in depth, I know to outsource it. I know my lane.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty dope because I'm reading this book, Who Not How. Like, it's a great book, and like as you're speaking, you would say like, I focus on what I'm good at.
Yeah,
that's basically what the book talks about: is to find your who to take care of the how that you're not good at, basically. And so it seems like you're already doing that. How many people do you have on your team?
I try. Right now it's about a team of 5, but I've had a team of 10. I've had a team of 12. It really depends on where I'm at right now. Where I'm at with things. So right now my team is smaller because I'm in transition, and so I don't need as many hands. But once I stabilize into our next location, I'll be higher.
Awesome. Are you comfortable with leading a big team?
I think I would be. I think I'm growing into that. Delegation is actually harder harder than it sounds to me. I'm one who has been in the weeds of the business for a long time, and I like to understand the details, things like that. But I think that I'm learning and growing into being a more hands off, like you said, kind of focusing on what I do best. So I know I'm capable of it, but I'm still working things out.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I know delegation could be hard. I'm kind of the opposite, as I may delegate too much or give people too much power. Like I convey the vision, say, hey, I want to get this done, just get them full of to do it. If it don't look right, then I'll take it on myself and fix it instead of telling them to go back and fix it. That's something I gotta work on.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, that's definitely something I gotta work on.
Mhm.
But let's get back into no basis and how did you come up with this idea? What made you want to get into this?
Okay, so I've told this story before, so some people may have heard it, but we got a whole new audience here, so I'm excited to tell it again.
I'm excited to hear.
Yes, yes. So NoBasis was actually born abroad. I say that because the idea came to me when I was studying abroad in Strasbourg, France. I lived there for 6 months, but I didn't know how to speak French. So I had the idea to get a shirt made that said "Parlez-vous anglais," which means "Do you speak English?" And at that point, people began to interact with different, and I realized fashion is communication. You should be able to express what you feel on the inside, on the outside, without even speaking up, and honestly do that, right? So people who are in clothing, in apparel, designers, marketers, that whole in that conceptualization phase, they're thinking of what type of person is going to want to wear this. And so you're communicating through your fashion choices every day. And so when you are able to just put that statement blatantly onto a t-shirt or onto a piece of apparel, you are taking that moment, capturing it in time, and putting it on someone else's mind. It can be something that's thought provoking, something funny, something political, something to celebrate a special occasion, something that you just value, that you want to put on a shirt. And so we really turn people into walking billboards for their values and beliefs at that time. Yeah.
That's dope. I never thought about fashion as communication.
Yeah.
So what am I communicating?
You're communicating professionalism.
Right?
Yeah, you have casual professional vibes right now.
Okay.
Yep, I guess you bought that shirt. You was like, I want to put this. This is a good shirt. It's classic. I can wear it whenever. I'm not gonna look too, I'm not gonna look thrown together. I'm gonna look like I care about what I'm doing, but I'm also be comfortable. It's cotton. You know what I mean? It's moving with you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I never thought about how that fashion equals communication. But when I saw you, I immediately thought boss lady. Like you
There you
got on
go.
your professional shirt, like you got your logo
Yeah.
on your shirt and everything like that. But that's what you communicated to me. Like as soon as I saw you, boss lady.
There you
But
go.
yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah. Cool. So what was life like in France?
Oh, beautiful. Oh my gosh. If I could go back to that time. So first of all, I lived in France, but I got to travel because it's less expensive to travel throughout Europe than it is the United States. So I lived in Strasbourg, France, but I went to Germany, I went to London, Amsterdam, uh, Spain, Morocco. So I was outside, So it was a great time. It really opened my mind. Traveling gives you this whole new perspective and way of looking at things. It makes your problems seem smaller because the world is so big and there's so many people. So it was amazing. The food was really good, a lot cleaner. I'm not going to get into comparing the U.S. and that's a whole nother podcast, right?
Yeah.
But it was great.
Yeah. Awesome. As you were speaking, I hear that you have an accent. Like, where are you originally from?
Do I have an accent? I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. Yeah. You do have an accent. Like, I'm from Mississippi, but stay in Memphis. But to me, you definitely have an accent.
Okay.
What was life like in Cleveland?
Wow. So Cleveland is my hometown, right? Cleveland, I'm Cleveland born and raised. I moved to Memphis about 2 years ago now. Cleveland is dope. Cleveland has its own swag. Cleveland is a Midwest city, so we grind hard, similar to Memphis. Very unique people. Everybody has kind of like their own interests and their own pursuits. Everybody's up to something though. At least in the area I was in the groups I was surrounded by, everybody was up to something. Most of the time, you're gonna bump into somebody and you're gonna be able to ask them what they're into. They're gonna be excited to tell you. So that's one thing about Cleveland. Yeah, that I love.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, it sounds like it has the same hustle and grind mentality
Mm-hmm.
as Memphis. Yeah, it's pretty dope. So, do you ever go back and visit?
Oh yeah. My mom and dad are both still there. My siblings are spread out, but my really good friends, people are lifelong, might as well call them family. They're still there. So whenever there are big life events, I'm going back to support them. And then just to visit and show love. So yeah, I'm always back and forth from Cleveland.
Awesome. Let's go back to France.
Okay.
I like it. How did you actually get there? Like, what was the reason for you going over there?
Man, exploring. I would say my mom planted the seed in my head. My mom has always, she was a teacher. She's been a teacher my entire life. So when it came to different programs and things like that, she was always putting us in extracurricular, whatever she could put us in to keep us busy. Because we grew up in East Cleveland, which is a not so well off side of Cleveland. It's dangerous and it's not necessarily an environment where you just want to send your kid outside to play for hours by themselves. So my mom was keeping us busy in the arts and dance, drama, whatever it was from my entire life. And so even when I went to college, she was still finding out about different programs. And so studying abroad was one of the programs that she was all for. And she was like, you need to look into this. And I did it. I went through I majored in marketing and supply chain management. So I went through the School of Business to figure out how the program worked. And I think it was a good, maybe 4 of us from Bowling Green State University, where I graduated from, that went. And I could be wrong about that number, but I know it was at least 4 girls that I remained close to throughout my travel time. And I just followed up. I followed through. I had a GPA that would allow for me to finish up my marketing degree over there. And yeah, that's how it came about.
Awesome. So, and so when you created that first shirt that said whatever it said in French, what was it?
Parlez-vous anglais.
Parlez-vous anglais.
Parlez-vous anglais.
Okay, awesome. And so, like, when you created that shirt and saw that fashion equals communication, I guess, like, what change did you make, like, after seeing that to actually lead to NoBasis?
Okay, so the idea just stuck with me, right? So I'm going. It was like a light bulb. So at that point in time, I'm thinking of different shirts for different situations. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I need one that says this. I need one that says this. And I'm sure that and a lot of people often have those times where they hear a phrase or something that's like, man, I need to put that on a shirt, So I'm that person for you. When you are ready to fill that gap, when you're like, I'm about to go somewhere and I don't running late, or I don't want to be here, or happy to be here, or, things like that. So at first, a lot of my shirts were all about those capturing a moment in time or a current event. But then I saw that it could be more. And here's the timeline for that. So I came back from studying abroad. I finished up. I had one more semester left of college. And I finished up. But again, it was still in my brain. I'm telling all my friends, this is what I want to do when I graduate. However, I went and took the safer route, and I took a job as an analyst, a supply chain analyst at a company that I had interned for. However, I was doing that job. I was good at it, but my heart wasn't in it. I say this all the time. I'm like, I was really on a computer working on NoBasis and work. You know what I mean?
Right,
So my heart was not in it, even though I was executing. I knew that I wasn't fulfilling my spirit, and so I gave that a strong 2 years, and I knew that in my mind. Right? It wasn't an impulsive like, oh, I'm just about to go.
Right.
I was like, no, I'm gonna save up. I'm gonna plan. I'm gonna at least map this out. I need at least 6 months to get it off the ground or whatever I'm gonna do. So
Right.
again, also at this time, I didn't have necessarily a mortgage, any kids. So it felt like not kind of like now or never if I'm gonna give something 100%. So this is 2016 now when I take that leap of faith and I leave that job. At that point, I start doing. I'm building my website. I'm building my socials. I'm doing pop-up at vending spots. My Derek, he owned a creative warehouse space, and so he was one of the first entrepreneurs that I seen really grinding and getting it on their own. We also went to a marketing class together, so we've been working projects collaboratively for a while. Okay, so now I've left that job in 2016. I'm on the hustle. I'm grinding. I'm just trying to figure it out. I learned about this opportunity at a mall where they are looking to fill vacancies, and they give you this 6-month trial period to see if your business is viable. And if you can sustain for those 6 months, then you can sign into a long-term lease. So this was a nationwide contest, and I applied and I went through the different rounds of interviews and I was accepted. And so I was blessed with that opportunity to open up a storefront for 6 months for free, with all of the support of the mall that I was in. And I was there. So after 6 months, I signed on to a long-term lease, and I was there for 5 years. And we were killing it. And then Derek got the opportunity here with the Memphis Grizzlies, and then we brought it here. Okay, so now you're catching up. Okay, go ahead.
Who's Derek? You mentioned him before, but who?
Derek is my partner.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. That's a dope story. So, was your storefront back in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it was going well. Derek got the opportunity here with the Memphis Grizzlies. Now we are in Memphis. Okay. What happens in Memphis?
All right. So now we're in Memphis. I open it up with the Open on Main program. The Open on Main program is also a test run for entrepreneurs. Now, while we are in that program, our thoughts are to build this place up to be our long-term home.
Right.
However, the landlord who bought the building while we were in it, they wanted to continue to use it as pop-up. And since pop-ups are not our long-term strategy, we ended up having to move. Okay. And so now we are on to phase 3, which is great. At this point, I've been in a mall, I've been in a standalone, and now we're moving into a creative warehouse space called Arrow, where we're going to be art residents and we're going to be working, creating, and doing our retail storefront out of there. So it's going to be really exciting.
Nice. And where is Arrows?
Arrow Creative is located in the Cooper Young Arts District. It is off of, it's on Philadelphia Avenue.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, just so everybody can like go out and support,
For
support the
sure.
brand. So imagine I'm a customer, right?
Mhm.
So then I come to you, I say, hey, Althea, I have these shirts that I want to get made. What is the process for you to take me as a customer?
Oh yeah. Okay, so it depends. There's 2 type of customers, right? One is coming in and they're like, I know what I want, and the others coming in and they're like, I don't know, but I want something, right? So if you come in and you already know what you want, you're coming straight in and you're picking either from the items that you've seen on the storefront, or you are just communicating what you're looking for. We're gonna find it. Either one of those works. So you come in and you like, oh, I want this jean jacket, and I wanted to say, like, what shirt would you want to say? Give me something. What would you want to shirt?
So I want my logo.
Oh, you want your logo? Okay.
Right, I'm going to get my logo remade now. So once they are finished, I'm going to find shirts. I like the shirt that you got on right now. It's like with your logo on it.
Yeah.
So something like
Something like that? Oh, for sure. Okay, that's easy then. So So then you're coming in, we're finding your item, finding your size. We're gonna create. We have these templates that fill out this form, and you're gonna tell me like, yeah, I want this right here. I want this on the sleeve. I want this on the back. I want so you kind of freaking this item out the way you want to. It's not like, oh, it always has to be standard front and center. We want you to create. We want you to use a bunch of different colors. We want you to feel like you have a one-of-one piece on. So you're coming in, you're giving me the direction. We're gonna agree on it. We're gonna chit chat back and forth, make sure it's solid. And then depending on how intricate, excuse me, the design is, we're gonna give you a time frame of when you're gonna come back to pick up. And it's usually gonna be that same day. So we pride ourselves on having really fast turnarounds and with a high quality product.
Okay. So that's only for one shirt? Like if I'm only wanting one
Yeah,
shirt?
if you only wanted one. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So usually it's between like 1 and 5. We're gonna do same day. If it's depending on what that day looks like, we can go up to 10. We may be able to go up to 20. It really depends on our production schedule, whether or not we're gonna be able to do more than 5 of your shirts in a day. But that's the whole thing is to get it back to the back.
Yeah.
So that's always going to be the goal. We're just going to take a look at our production schedule and say, this is how fast we can get it back.
Okay, that's pretty dope. I do want to go back to your transition from Cleveland, Ohio to Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
So you essentially had to start over, like especially like with people getting to know you and like branding and all that stuff. What was that journey like for you?
Scary, exciting, but still scary because community is everything. And I had the support of my family and my friends and just people I went to school with. Cause I think I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. So when everybody that I knew, my cousins, whoever it was like, oh, you opening up a store? I gotta come through, you know? And not necessarily that now that phase is over in a year, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like those are not your customers forever. But that start point, that's the catapult, right? Like they're excited to support you. So you don't have that same catapult when you come to somewhere new. However, it was great. It was great. Our grand opening here in Memphis was great. Memphis, it was so well received, and it just showed me that it's like God is all over this thing. You know, it's really not me. I'm just being a vessel. I'm just being used. Yeah. But honestly, it was a scary feeling. I would say it was a scary feeling. When it actually happened, it was great. But my mental, right, like my own self-doubt, definitely, I had those moments where I was like, this is going to be weird. Nobody knows this. What am I doing opening up the store?
Yeah. That's good. That's good to hear, especially from our city, man. I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that think that there's not a lot of support, especially here in Memphis, but there's a lot of support. You just got to get it in the right circles around the right people. Speaking of, how did you hear about the opportunity on opening Maine? Like, who gave you that information?
Oh, I'm a hustler.
See?
I'm a hustler. I was out as soon as I came out here. I was on foot looking for opportunities. I was gonna figure out who all of the SBA organizations are. I'm figuring out. What you say? The who, what, where, why? Those are the things. Yeah, those are the things I was looking for. So I was feet to the ground as soon as I came in, and I knew that was what I wanted to do. So I was sending emails. I was meeting with realtors. I was contacting banks, SBAs, and so. Yeah, that was the thread I followed.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. So when you opened up the shop, you had a grand opening. Like, what was business like for you? Like after like the first 6 months, like after the hype, like what was the business like for you?
It stabilized. I mean, business ebbs and flows all the time. So the first 6 months, it depends. That might have put me at Christmas where it was great, you know. But I would say that those times where things stabilized, that was again where I would go back out on foot and be like, and now I'm surrounded by small businesses. So I'm going out and I'm letting them know that this is what I do. One of the biggest differences that I recognize being in a storefront mall versus the standalone that I was in is that my model, the bread and butter of my model kind of switched because at first when I was in the mall, and you could picture this, right? My B2C is what's reeling people in. I got mannequins in the front. People are in a shopping mode. So they're just browsing by and they're seeing something cool and they're like, I need one of these, I need two of these, I need three of these. Right. So I'm turning over all day. I'm converting all day versus being in a storefront that was downtown surrounded by small businesses, more so like restaurants um and offices. People are not necessarily in like the shopping mindset all the time, right? I was getting some tourists, things like that, but being aware of that, what I did know is, but I'm surrounded by businesses that need this service. So now my B2B is actually growing, right? So those two things kind of flip flop and reverse for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Would you say you pivoted like once you saw that it's working better as a B2B model rather than a B2C?
Oh yeah, I had to. And that's another reason that I didn't like start hiring immediately and things like that because I had to see exactly how the business was going to function in this environment versus the previous environment. So, yeah, it has been a pivot and I'm glad to see the business model working in all of these different ways in all of these different phases as well. It just shows that it's a true need that we're feeling.
Yeah, that's dope. Let me ask you this. Would you ever sell no basis? Let's say when you reach your dream, you got a storefront on Rodeo Drive, you're doing it big. Somebody comes to you like with an offer to buy. Would you make that sale?
Well, of course, it's gonna depend on the number, and it might depend on the day. Cause sometimes, child, I be tired.
Yeah.
I do, so it might seem tempting. And are you saying sell the whole thing or like a percentage?
I'm saying sell
The
it
whole
like
thing,
the
and
whole
hands
thing,
off.
hands off, like you no longer part of the business. Like you can go live in Hawaii or somewhere if you want to.
Oh, years from now, definitely. Years from now, definitely. I think it should be every entrepreneur's goal to. You should always have an exit plan, right?
Absolutely.
Like you should always have like your dream of building a machine that works and runs on its own and has its own legs and then it can function, without you. Like one day I dream of going into an NoBasis store and getting served as a customer with no one recognizing who I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my
Yeah, that's dope. How did you even come up with the name No Basis and what does it mean?
NoBasis came about because you create the base, the customer. We're just your avenue for expression. So, like I said earlier, it can say anything. We can say anything. We have no base. You are creating the base. So when you wear no base, it means something different than maybe when your wife or when myself or when anybody wears it. It stands for something different.
Yeah.
And then it's also kind of like no ceiling, no base. Like life is limitless. You can do or say anything you want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I just randomly thought about it. But yeah, that's actually a dope name, like No Basis. Like, but you create your own.
Yeah, exactly. Because I really believe in people wearing their own like brand, like wearing something that tells people about themselves.
Yeah. Do you work with entrepreneurs any?
I do. I do. I've had mentees, people who I've helped, and I've had mentors who've helped me. I've done classes. I want to get into doing more of that here in Memphis. I haven't tapped into that as much as I should. But I'm looking forward to finding organizations that I can work with to educate or just share. I love that. Like honestly, that's what keeps me going in this whole game is the energy exchange with other entrepreneurs or other people who working on dreams and goals themselves. Like that's what it's about.
Awesome. I got you. I got you on that. I know a couple of organizations I definitely plug. What area of expertise like do you want to talk about? Like is it like class or workshop?
Okay, so of course fashion. So I could always do something in regards to fashion, marketing, branding, overall general business. You know how you take that general business course? Because I have had to wear every hat for my business, literally. Um, and then I would say on the learning side of things, for me, I'm interested in getting more education on franchising. I'm interested in getting more education on bookkeeping. So there's things that I know I need to get better at, but I know that there's so much information that I have now that I'm ready to start to share with other people, because there are people out there teaching this stuff who honestly never lived it. And at this point, I've lived it.
Yeah. Yeah. Has marketing been hard? And I asked that because
Yes.
okay.
You don't gotta explain.
Okay.
You don't gotta explain.
Yeah.
Marketing is hard when you have so much to do. I think that for a while, I did not realize like I have to attribute time and money to marketing. And instead of it just getting in where it fits, right? I think that a lot of, I want to speak for a lot of entrepreneurs, but I'm gonna speak for myself in that in the beginning stages, it just was the last thing that was like, okay, and now I'll try and do a little bit of it, right? However, that's not the best way to do it. So it's hard in that in to me in balancing out my time and my efforts to go towards marketing. And then I would say that making sure that you're being authentic is also can also be like a challenge for small businesses in marketing. And what I mean by that is literally like not doing what you think is working or what you see other working for other people, but doing what is authentic to you and yourself and your brand, and literally showing up as yourself, because being you is your superpower. You literally cannot win any other way. And so throughout my 5-6 years of doing this, I've had to always come back to center, come back to my why. I've reset a few times within my marketing strategy to say, nope, go back to why you started.
Yeah. Awesome. Earlier in your story, you mentioned pop-up shop, right?
Oh, yeah.
So overall pop-up event. So I'm actually thinking about doing pop-up events, to get the word out there more about the I Got Dreams podcast, the branding and all that stuff. Like, how big was pop-up for you?
Pop-ups are great. Pop-ups are great. I'm doing a pop-up at the Rail Garden on Friday for 901 Day. I'm not sure when this airs, but
Yeah, he'll be passed.
okay, right. But I'm getting back into pop-ups myself, I should say, because I'm in a new space.
Yeah.
So pop-ups are great for brand awareness and recognition, right? You got to be ready when you go to a pop-up. You're going to just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and telling people again and again. And if you love it, you're not going to get tired of it, because you can't wait to introduce this thing to these people who haven't heard about it before, right? So pop-ups are a great way to bring about brand awareness. I will say to be careful in pop-ups when it comes to the cost and the benefits for you and your company. So, if I'm not going to a food festival, well, it's kind of weird for NoBasis, right? Because NoBasis, if I put on a shirt, I'm here for the food, then it'll go. But if I sell books, I'm not going to the food festival and thinking that I'm going to make back the $500 booth rent that I paid to be here.
Right.
So definitely be strategic about the pop-ups that you go to, making sure that those people there are going to be in shopping mode and that they're going to be looking for the type of product that you have.
Yeah, that's good advice. What's the number one marketing strategy that has worked for you thus far?
Man, I wish that it was really, really simply put like that for me. Well, I should say I wish that I had kept data from the beginning. But some of the things that come off top of mind is when I collaborated in the area in the mall. This is the best example that I have. Being that I've been in Memphis for a shorter time than I was in Cleveland. So when I was in Cleveland, I would do like flyers at the food court, or I would buy posters at entrances, things like that. So I would do collaborative marketing in the mall. And I think that why that worked is because it was people who were already captured in a space, and you could quickly tell them to go there for a benefit. And that would catch their attention. So I would say that works best for me. Here in Memphis, I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Does social media ads work? Have you tried social media ads? I haven't yet, but I'm just asking stuff that I'm thinking about trying to do. So
Yeah. Social media ads do work. They definitely work. I need to tap into it more. So I'm not going to give you the most like expert advice on this, right? Because
right.
I haven't done it enough to say this is my expert advice. But my personal advice is that it has worked better for me for events. Like running an ad for a specific event on a time frame where I was looking for, that fast conversion, or for like profile visits. But as far as like product conversion, I haven't found a sweet spot for that yet.
Yeah. What type of events do you run?
Oh my gosh, I love doing events. I've done fashion shows, of course. I have done holiday events like sipping shops. I have done. I used to do something called Book a Bash, where you could actually rent out the space inside of NoBasis, and everybody at your party could you could pay for them to get T-shirts made and do hydro dipping. So you had those experiences going on inside the party. I have done, what other kind of events have we done? A lot of sales events. Hey,
Yeah.
we have this going on, that going on. Come by, might get a free this or free that. So sales events, mostly holiday events, and fashion shows are like my top
Yeah. That's dope. I'm just learning from you, getting a whole bunch of information
three.
for myself.
Oh,
I feel like this has been a coaching session for me,
cool.
so I appreciate that.
Of
So,
course.
how you feeling? Like, how you feel like this interview has gone so far?
It's been good. It's been good. I feel relaxed.
I won't say interview. I say
Conversation. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I feel relaxed. I feel like you're asking good questions. I feel like I want to ask you some questions back, but that's not how this goes. So
Right.
I'm trying to stay in my lane, like I said.
I mean, you can, but yeah, I appreciate you. This has been like a dope episode, and like it's I met you by just walking past your storefront,
Mhm.
on Main. It came in like I love your vibe. I love your authenticity. You were funny as heck when we were in there.
Thank you.
And so I appreciate you coming on the show and just sharing your story and sharing
Yeah.
us like some really great tips, on how we can market our business one, and really just sharing your story and inspiring the next entrepreneur to take that first step to go from A to B. So before we leave though, is there anything else that you want to share?
Just look out for the grand opening at Aero Creative. It's gonna be dope. I'm really excited about being in that space. I'm excited about diving deeper into my craft. Um, Once you become a seasoned business owner and you're juggling all of those hats, you have these ideas and visions that you kind of go back and you're like, I never really got to that, or I know I want to learn more about this or that, but time keeps going. And so I feel like with us being art residents and being surrounded by artists of different mediums. I mean, there's a painter next to me, there's a ceramic artist next to me, there's a sewing room, there's a photography studio. There's so many different types of people and my peers being surrounded by me like that. I feel like it's going to be like going back to school, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be able to really dive deeper into my craft, execute on some of the past visions that I've had for the company, and I would say just be on the lookout for that. We're about to hit a hard reset, and I'm excited to start phase 3 of this journey. No basis with the same community I started with. So
Yeah, and that's dope, man. I think your story really told like the journey of entrepreneurship, right? So you have phase one, phase two, phase three. Phase one in Cleveland, Ohio, phase two in Memphis, phase three in another shop in Memphis, Tennessee.
yeah,
And so it sounds like it's going up.
it's going up, man. It's
Yeah.
going up. I'm excited. Thank you for having me, Mike.
No problem, no problem. But before we leave, tell us where we can find you at and leave us with a word of
Okay. Wow, I'll be having so many words. I would say that. Well, let me start with where to find me. So I'm at nobasis.co on all platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I know I need to come to TikTok soon. I might be on TikTok. I need to get into TikTok. But definitely for right now, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter uh, /X. But then a word of advice. A word of advice. I would say really what's on the tip of my tongue is to be authentic. Just be authentic to yourself. Revisit your why. Fail forward and be you. Yes.
I love the concept of self-worth. Like when I heard the concept of fail forward, I never looked at failing the same again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as failure, honestly. Like, it's just a lesson. It's a lesson and it's a blessing that you can keep moving on past it. So just keep going.
Awesome. Good deal. Can't close it out no better than that. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the I Got Dreams podcast, the Ultimate Accountability podcast. Hey, we love y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Peace. Bam. Thank you for listening to this episode. I know you just received a lot of value. So look, here's what I want you to do now. Go to our social media platforms on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok at I Got Dreams Podcast everywhere, and like, comment, subscribe to all those channels, and let's continue the conversation on there. Look, I told you before, we are creating the ultimate accountability group for entrepreneurs, and we want you to be a part of that group. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe to our channels at I Got Dreams Podcast everywhere, and we'll see you there. Peace.